Hi, I'm Iris Owen, aka Nectarine Girl, and as some of you might know, I really want to be famous. After doing this, I thought I'm just going to go on TV shows, right? That's how you get famous. Some of the TV shows I've picked to go on, or they've picked me, have been quite random. The first one I went on was Love Bites, which was a dating show filmed in COVID. Then I went on Blankety Blank, which was a quiz show that I did in 2022 with Stephen Mulhern. 2023 I did Eggheads, which was my favourite one. Or 2025 I went on Made in Chelsea. So I'm going to tell you a bit about them, and I'm also going to tell you some of the shows that I have applied for and they didn't pick me for some weird reason. First thing I applied for was Love Bites, and this was during a really weird stage in COVID where I was like, what the hell am I doing with my life? I should just go on daytime television. So I applied for Love Bites, which is I'm just going to say this, it's quite a low budget dating show filmed for ITV2, and it was with Scarlett Moffat as the presenter, and basically the concept is 3 girls cook a meal for a guy, and it sounds quite outdated now I'm talking about it, and the guy has to pick which girl he likes based off the meal he eats. I can't cook, so this is already set up for failure. I'm also a lifelong pescatarian who's never eaten meat, and they shoved a lamb shank in front of me, and I was like, what? Firstly, what's a shank? And secondly, I didn't even know that it was from a lamb. I was like, is it beef? I then said I'm not touching it, so I had to use like little prongs and I put it in the oven, and apparently you don't put lamb shank in the oven, you, I don't know, boil it, I don't know, fry it. So anyway, he picked me for the date, and I was like, are you joking? I wanted to go home, but I went on the date, and because it was COVID, we couldn't even, like, we were sat so far apart and we couldn't even share the glasses of the fake Prosecco, by the way, because they might touch. So it was very orchestrated, but it was, you know what, it was fun. I had a good day, met some funny girls, and I guess I got a date out of it, a fake date. I then went on Blankety Blank, which is a old quiz show from, I don't know, I think it came out in like the 70s or something, and they did a new BBC Two reboot of it with Stephen Mulhern and me, and it was really fun. I wore like a really cute little Jane Norman like one-shouldered top, and had my hair and makeup done. And then they get you in the studio and they said to me, okay, you need to, like, this is just before I'm about to go on a set with like all these celebrities that were like on the panel or whatever. And my other, I don't know, contestant I'm going head to head with. And they said, Iris, you need to come up with like a little dance, and then we're going to spin you on. And I was like, a little dance? And they were like, you know, just something as the music comes on. And the music is blankety blank, blankety blank. And I was like, fucking hell. So I'm like sat down on this like moving, spinning panel as they get you onto the set. And I just came up with blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank. So I got spun on. I answered a few questions, I got them wrong, and I got spun off within the space of about 6 minutes, and I did an exit dance, which they didn't ask me to do, and I went blankety blank, blankety blank, as they spun me off. So I didn't win anything, apart from my blankety blank checkbook and pen, which they give every contestant that comes on the show, and mine's actually fallen apart. Actually came flat packed, which I found quite funny, and I had to make myself. And seeing as I'm not very good at DIY, I've kind of messed it all around, and out of pure love, you know, and adoration for this trophy, I have broken it. A prized possession. I'm not sure if it's real gold. My favourite one, okay? So, I'm a pub quiz host. That is my trade. That is my job. That is my 9 to 5, you know, that's how I make the bread. I do it twice a week, and I've been doing it for 4 years. And weirdly enough, you might not know this, but us pub quiz hosts, we have an agency, okay? There's a few of us. And if the quiz, I have to do a whole nother video on it. There's like a Christmas party that goes off every year. I nearly got with another quiz host. It's all crazy. Anyway, they emailed me and said, how do you feel about going on TV? I said, how do I feel about going on TV? I would chop off my right arm to be on television one more time. They said, no need for that. We want to get you on Eggheads. I said, oh, Eggheads. The show where, you know, regular people go against the smartest people in Britain. Sounds like a bit of me. They said, yeah, we're making a team of 5, you know, pub quiz hosts, and they'll go against the Eggheads, the smartest people in Britain. I said, oh, that's really smart. So we get together in a group chat, me, Ty, Nige, I've forgotten the girl's name, Elizabeth, and we introduced ourselves, one selfie, name, location. Mine was Iris, 23, Vauxhall, and then Ty was like, Ty, 49, Stoke-on-Trent, whatever. Loved it. We're all chatting in the group chat. We're like, okay, let's call our team name The Strangers, because we don't know each other very well. Anyway, we were filming on the 16th of September, and my 24th birthday party was taking place on the 15th of September. So I knew that I would be going very hungover to Eggheads, but actually worked in my favour because I was very funny, I was slightly unhinged, and I had a little bit of blood trickling down my neck, fake blood, from being some sort of vampire from my 24th party. So, arrived on the set and we go to the green room and I meet my other fun teammates, and I picked like a nuts pink leopard print Jane Norman top to wear, and they all wore their stuff, and we basically got brought out onto the set. I was team captain, who the hell knows why, and we're on our panel, and they all went against Eggheads first. They all didn't win. All my teammates went against one Egghead each, and none of them got their rounds right. So then it all landed on me to go to the final, and I was against one of the Eggheads called Lisa, and we did food and drink. And I got every question right and she got one of them wrong. So I won my round. So I am smarter than an egghead, which is absolutely bizarre. We went to the final, me and Ty, and we were just one question short of winning. But it was so fun. I then went to the pub after with all my teammates and we spoke about their divorces, and I had a Bloody Mary, and then I realised I don't want to spend any more time with them, and I went home. I was asked to go on Made in Chelsea towards the end of their season, which they were filming last November 2025. And I was quite nervous because I don't actually know anyone. I do sound a bit like I'm from Chelsea, but I'm completely not, and I didn't really know anyone. The day I filmed in the Baby Shop was only an hour long, so it was just me and the couple, and I was a party planner, planning for the season finale party, which I then filmed about, I think it was like 3 days later. That started at 9 in the morning, and we had to be there in full glam and drink fake Prosecco and pretend we were at a party. And this is when I met all the cast. I think they didn't quite get me. I had nails like this, all my crazy jewellery on. I think I was wearing my Hello Kitty necklace and a Playboy necklace. I was also wearing a bodycon skirt where you could completely see my thong, which someone brought up, and I was like, and what? One of the boys said to me, he was like, you're very random, aren't you? You're very, quite out there. He's not like 87 like I made it out to be. He was probably 22, but I was like, yeah! I think they're all a bit like, who the hell is this crazy girl? I had a fun time. I didn't not like anyone. It just didn't work out that I was on another episode as of yet. Chelsea's so iconic, and you know, I just love being on television, and I'm gonna get my face on every single show, even if it's just for one episode, because that is hilarious. I've applied for Cash in the Attic. I've applied for Bargain Hunt about 65 times. I applied for SAS Who Dares Wins, and then looked at the specifications of what you need to be able to do. I can't do any of them. One of them's like, you need to be able to do like 50 push-ups or something. I can't do one. But I was like, I'll deal with that at the next stage. Like, you might as well apply anyway. I applied for Race Around the World. I've applied for literally every TV show. So sometimes I get to the next stage. I've been to the next stage of Deal or No Deal, which was really one of the most random days of my whole life. It was like a random Wednesday morning, and me and the other hopeful contestants were in a like sort of office conference room auditioning somewhere in like White City or something. And we all had to go around and say a little piece about ourselves. You had to like step into the circle and be like, Iris, 27, London, pub quiz host, whatever. And one of the women stepped in and she said, Laura, 42, whatever, and I've brought a guest with me today. And we're all like, what? Like, I wasn't allowed to bring a guest. We're like, who is it? Looking around the room. She pulled out a Tupperware box, like one you'd get from like a Chinese takeaway that she'd washed out. She pulled out a Tupperware box, and in it was the ashes of her dead husband. And you know what's horrible about this story? She didn't even make it as a contestant on the show. Neither did I. So me and Laura in the same boat. But yeah, all of these sort of like little weird side hustles and ventures I just do all the time, week on, week out. Like, I love them. And I don't get paid for any of it, but I just think it's a laugh. But I do feature them on my day in the lives on TikTok. So please follow me on TikTok if you want to see any of this weirdness that goes on and more people like Laura. There, follow me in here, comment, subscribe. I love you. That is true.